Some men grow older and become calmer, wiser, and naturally respected. Others grow older but still chase attention, react emotionally, and struggle to feel truly confident. Have you ever noticed how certain older men walk into a room and instantly command quiet respect? They do not need to speak loudly. They do not try to prove anything. Their presence alone feels strong, stable, and secure. But then there are other men who may be kind, successful, or even intelligent, yet people feel uncomfortable around them without fully understanding why. It is not always about money, looks, or status. Most of the time, it comes down to energy, emotional control, and the way a man carries himself. Today on Stoic Masculinity, we are going to uncover 3 hidden behaviors that silently weaken a man's presence as he gets older. And more importantly, we will talk about how Stoic wisdom can transform those habits into true masculine strength. Because real masculinity is not loud. It is not desperate. It is not emotional chaos hidden behind confidence. Real masculinity is calm under pressure, disciplined in emotions, grounded in purpose, and powerful without needing validation. Stay with me until the end, because understanding these lessons can completely change the way people see you, respect you, and connect with you for the rest of your life. The first mistake is attachment to outcomes. This is one of the biggest reasons many older men lose their natural masculine presence without realizing it. Outcome attachment happens when a man becomes emotionally dependent on how people respond to him. He needs approval. He needs attention. He needs certain reactions to feel confident. You see it everywhere. A man tries too hard to impress people. He overexplains himself. He constantly seeks validation in conversations. He becomes overly available. He chases approval from women, friends, co-workers, or even strangers. And when he does not receive the response he hoped for, his energy immediately changes. He becomes disappointed, insecure, irritated, or emotionally affected. The problem is not caring about people. The problem is needing their reactions to feel valuable. Stoic philosophy teaches something incredibly powerful. You cannot control other people. You cannot control whether someone likes you. You cannot control how others feel. You cannot control praise, attention, admiration, or rejection. The only thing fully under your control is your own character, your actions, your mindset, and your emotional discipline. The moment a man bases his confidence on external validation, he gives away his inner power. And people can feel that instantly. Desperation is rarely spoken out loud. It reveals itself through energy, through nervous behavior, through overtalking, through trying too hard, through seeking approval in subtle ways. A Stoic man operates differently. He shows up as his best self. He speaks honestly. He acts with dignity and self-respect. But after that, he lets go of the outcome. If people appreciate him, good. If they ignore him, that is fine too. If someone rejects him, he remains emotionally stable. Why? Because his value does not depend on outside reactions. That emotional independence creates something extremely attractive and rare in today's world: peace. And peaceful men stand out. A calm man who is comfortable with himself feels powerful without forcing anything. He does not chase energy because he already controls his own. That is true masculine confidence. The second mistake is living in past glory. Many older men slowly fall into this trap without even noticing. Instead of continuing to grow, they become mentally trapped in who they used to be. They constantly talk about the past. Their best stories are always from 20 or 30 years ago. They repeat old achievements over and over again. They expect respect because of their age, their experience, or what they once accomplished. Sometimes they interrupt younger people to lecture them. Sometimes they dismiss new ideas too quickly. Sometimes they turn every conversation back toward themselves. Deep down, many of these behaviors come from fear. Fear of becoming irrelevant. Fear of aging. Fear that their identity is fading away. But Stoicism teaches that a man's worth is not measured by his history. It is measured by his character right now. Marcus Aurelius never taught people to worship their past victories. He taught discipline in the present moment. Because the past is gone. And no amount of old success guarantees present respect. People respect who you are today. How you treat others today. How you carry yourself today. How emotionally mature you are today. A wise Stoic man understands this deeply. He does not need to constantly remind people of who he used to be. He focuses on who he is becoming. He stays curious. He keeps learning. He listens more than he lectures. He respects younger people instead of competing with them. There is something deeply powerful about an older man who remains humble. A humble man feels safe to be around. People feel seen in his presence instead of judged. He does not dominate conversations to feed his ego. He brings calmness into the room. And ironically, that humility often earns far more respect than arrogance ever could. Because true masculine strength does not scream for attention. It naturally earns it. Now let us talk about the third mistake. And honestly, this is the biggest one of all. Emotional instability. Nothing destroys masculine presence faster than emotional chaos. An older man may have money, experience, intelligence, or status. But if he constantly loses emotional control, people eventually stop feeling comfortable around him. This instability can appear in many forms. Getting irritated over small things, becoming defensive too quickly, taking everything personally, having sudden mood swings, reacting with anger when challenged, becoming jealous or insecure in relationships, snapping during conversations, turning normal disagreements into emotional battles. The Stoics warned about this thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all believed that a man who cannot govern his emotions cannot truly govern himself. That does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending not to feel anything. Stoicism is not emotional numbness. Real Stoicism is emotional mastery. It means feeling anger without becoming controlled by it, feeling disappointment without collapsing emotionally, feeling pressure without panicking. A disciplined man pauses before reacting. He thinks before speaking. He controls his impulses instead of allowing impulses to control him. This is what creates emotional safety around a man. People trust emotionally stable men. They respect them. They feel calm around them. Because emotional control signals inner strength. Think about it carefully. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy. But the real test of masculinity appears during stress, conflict, rejection, and pressure. Can you stay composed when challenged? Can you remain respectful during disagreement? Can you control your tongue when emotions rise? That is where true power is revealed. Most people today are slaves to their emotions. They react instantly. They explode online. They chase validation. They seek attention. They allow moods to control their decisions. But the Stoic man becomes different. He becomes steady, disciplined, grounded, focused. He stops trying to dominate others and begins mastering himself. And that is why his presence feels powerful without effort. At the end of the day, masculinity is not about age, money, muscles, or status. It is about inner control. A man becomes respected when he learns to detach from validation, let go of ego, and master his emotional reactions. That is the kind of energy people naturally trust. That is the kind of man people feel safe around. And that is the kind of man Stoicism helps build. So ask yourself honestly, do you seek too much approval from others? Are you still living through old victories instead of building new growth? Do your emotions control you more than you realize? Awareness is the first step toward transformation. The good news is this: every man can improve. Every man can become calmer, stronger, wiser, more disciplined, but only if he is willing to face himself honestly. If this message spoke to you, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Masculinity for more deep lessons on discipline, emotional mastery, confidence, and masculine growth. And tell me in the comments, which of these 3 mistakes do you think destroys a man's presence the most? Until next time, stay disciplined, stay calm, and continue becoming the strongest version of yourself.